In the dead of night, Thomas abruptly awoke to the persistent vibration of his phone on the nightstand. Groggy and disoriented, he squinted at the screen, which illuminated the dark room with an eerie glow. It was a text message from his wife, Sarah, who had vanished without a trace 3 long years ago. His heart raced as he read the chilling words, "I'm in the house, get me out." Bewildered, Thomas sat up, staring at the words that seemed impossible. Could it really be Sarah? The Sarah he had lost so abruptly, without explanation, leaving behind an abyss of questions and sleepless nights. He felt the familiar ache of hope and disbelief gnawing at him. Driven by a mix of dread and yearning, Thomas swung his legs out of bed and cautiously opened his bedroom door. His hands trembled with anticipation, but what greeted him beyond was a silence so profound it felt almost sinister. Every room he checked, a meticulous search of the small suburban home, yielded nothing but emptiness. The silence was only broken by his own breath, which sounded strangely foreign in the quiet house. It was when he reached the end of his futile search, standing in the middle of the living room, that something new caught his eye. The walls were covered in strange, handwritten notes, sprawled in an untidy manner with markers and slashes. These notes hadn't been there before, he was certain. Messages like, "Help me," "Watch the door," "Don't trust him," and the chilling "He knows" covered every inch, making the room appear like a macabre canvas of desperation. His heart thudded in his chest like a drum, each beat resonating with fear and a deepening sense of panic. He swung around towards the hallway, the one place he hadn't thought to examine properly. Before he took a step, his phone buzzed again with the same eerie insistence that had pulled him from sleep. This time the message had changed. "Don't open the door." Thomas stood frozen, a cold dread creeping up his spine, turning his blood into icy currents. He turned slowly, his gaze landing on the front door, the dividing line between the safety of his home and the unknown that lay beyond. The air around him seemed to crackle with a foreboding energy. But why had the message changed? What was about to happen if he dared open that door? His hand twitched involuntarily, desire battling with apprehension. The door seemed to watch him, daring and taunting his fear. In that moment of paralyzing indecision, shadows shifted imperceptibly at the corners of his vision, teasing him with tricks of the mind. Thomas felt something there, something unseen and malevolent. The air seemed heavier around him, charged with the presence of a lurking mystery. Another message illuminated his screen, desperate urgency in every letter. "Trust no one. Keep the doors closed. Save yourself." It wasn't just the mystery of his wife's disappearance that haunted him now, but the sudden realization that he was a pawn in a game far beyond his understanding. Whatever the truth, it was dancing just beyond his grasp, hidden in the shadows that clouded his past, his fractured heart, and the terrifying stillness of the night. Thomas stepped back, shrinking away from the door. The warnings on the walls, screaming silently with caution, calmed his reckless impulse. Each decision now carried the weight of potential disaster or salvation. As the night wore on, Thomas resolved to keep the doors firmly shut, barricading his fear and doubt on the other side. The house, now a fortress of unanswered questions and silent resolve, would bear witness to the waiting game imposed by the darkness and the mysterious messages from a ghost of the past. Yet the question still loomed. Was Sarah truly here, or was this a cruel game played by a malevolent force? Time would either unravel the truth or trap him eternally in a fugue of uncertainty.